It's about. So tonight is only about Airbnb. It's all about the Airbnb experience. I'm going to share just from what I've learned, having done Airbnb for four years now, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're going to get right into that. So I'll tell quickly my story of how I got into it, and that should take a few minutes. And then we have a special guest that's going to explain the reasons not to Airbnb. And then we'll talk about the reasons to Airbnb, and then what do you bring to the table? And then we'll ask you what success looks like. And then I'm going to make an offer. So it's not going to be like buy a Bunkie offer. It's going to be different. It's kind of about the Airbnb thing. So let us begin. I'll tell you a quick 2-second version of how I got into Airbnb. So for those of you who don't know, I live in the country just outside of Erin, Ontario, which is kind of the outskirts of Toronto. And we live in a relatively small country house, but we have really nice properties, like 2 acres, really nice rolling hill, and just a cool place. And it's all surrounded by country. And so my parents always wanted to come visit me. They live near Sarnia area, and same with Carrie's parents, are Windsor direction. So they always wanted to come visit, but they had nowhere to stay. I was throwing them on couches, and it was just not working out. So my mom sat me down and said, "Hey, we gotta solve this problem." And she started sending me all these tiny home listings, and even like yurts and really weird hippie stuff. And none of it really clicked with me, and a lot of it, like the tiny home stuff, was very expensive, like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $78,000. And I just thought that's a little extreme. I love you, Mom, but I don't $75,000 worth love you. So I ended up, I love having my own laugh track today. So I ended up finding these really awesome Bunkie kits that you put together, and I thought, I can do this. So I bought my very first one in 2015, I think it was now. And I threw it up, and before I even had it fully built, I thought, how can I make some money with this thing, right? So I had it listed on Airbnb before it was even officially built. And I built it later in the season, which I wouldn't recommend. I'd recommend build it in the spring for reasons I'll explain later. So anyways, I had it built by the end of September, and I had my first guest before I even had it finished. They had it booked, and they're these 2 girls. I remember them well, and I still remember them. And when I say Airbnb, it was literally an Airbnb. I threw a blow-up air mattress for the first couple guests that they slept on. I didn't even have a bed purchased at that point. And so they stayed on this air mattress, and they loved it. They gave us a 5-star review, and I said, "Hey, if you want your money back, we're just trying this out." And they're like, "No, it was wonderful." And so I realized this could really work. And between September and December, I hosted right to December, I had, I think, a fair number of guests. And then I ended up making enough money to pay off the entire Bunkie within about 6 to 7 months. I had the whole thing paid off, right, like a profit. And we furnished the whole thing using like a lot of, cool finds my wife would find in buy and sell sites, and a lot of used stuff. And we bought a new mattress. That's the one expense we did spend. And then that was pretty much Airbnb. And then after that year, we looked at the numbers, and I said, "Carrie, this is the best investment we've ever made." I used to own student rentals. I used to own a duplex down in Windsor, and I'd be lucky. I'd be like, thank goodness if we made $200 a month without somebody burning something down or trashing something. And these Bunkies were pulling in like serious coin, which we'll get into. So I sat her down, and she was very apprehensive, which is why my wife is going to be tonight's special guest, because in every couple, you have the yin and you have the yang. I'm more of a yin, Carrie's more of a yang, so we balance each other out really well. For every Bonnie, there is a Clyde, and Carrie's like kind of the more conservative. Let's tone this down. We don't need to start a new business every 6 months, and I'm just like pedal to the metal. So we balance each other out, and I sat her down and I showed her the numbers. I'm like, "Carrie, this is the best investment. Let's double down. Let's triple down on this." And so I'm bringing her onto the show because we're going to talk about reasons not to do this. Okay. And I don't want to say Carrie's like the type of person that pisses on your campfire, but every once in a while she'll expose to me or explain to me reasons things can't work. So I thought she'd be the perfect guest to come on in and share, why not to do a Bunkie. So everybody welcome Bunkie Babe Carrie.
I'm the official campfire pisser.
Working on our band. Okay.
Yeah.
So Carrie, tell us. I want to bring back to your mind that time I sat you down on the couch. I think you should remember it. And I showed you the numbers of what we made on the first Bunkie, and I said, "Now I want to spend $25,000 and get three more."
Yeah.
I think I wanted 5 more at that time, and you pulled me back to 3. So let's just give me all the objections you had at that point. Why not to do this? Because I realize there's people out there that want to do the Bunkie thing, and they are the Bonnie, and they're married to a Clyde, or their partner is a Clyde. So, they're Yoko, and you're John, whatever it is. So, how did we make it work? But first of all, tell us why not to do it. What are all the reasons you thought? F no.
I thought of just the liability of like, what if something happens to these people while they're on our property?
Yes.
Thought of what on earth makes these people want to go out to the middle of nowhere and camp. I'm not a camper.
Okay.
So I was like, what if we don't book anybody? What if we're offering a service that nobody wants?
Yep.
I thought of what if they burn the place down?
Okay. Yeah. Classic.
Or they don't know how to put out the campfire and then burn our entire property down.
Sure.
What else did I think of?
I remember you being very apprehensive about people in my backyard.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah, I like my space. That's why I live in the middle of nowhere. And
yes.
I was concerned that would be annoying to have people that I can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
just with the kids, I just want to make sure that nobody was around the kids.
Yeah.
Remember thinking, oh no, my in-laws are going to want to visit all the time. Just kidding, Mom. Just kidding. Love you. What else? Lots of laundry.
Yeah. I don't think you thought that beforehand. That was something we found after we actually did all the Airbnbs. There's a lot of
I worried about what was if we'd get in trouble with the town or something, but then you checked into all that stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's address all those, because those are all legitimate concerns, and the thing is, if you are the gas in the relationship but you're married to the brakes, you gotta, if you're gonna sell this to them, then you gotta address their concerns head on. So the first thing is liability. Now, we have obviously homeowners liability, but there's also with Airbnb you have $1 million of liability built into the fact that you're a host with Airbnb. That's why I pretty much just use Airbnb. If I know the person, sometimes I'll make a cash deal with them, but for the most part, we just book everybody through Airbnb, which is kind of simple, easy. Their calendar is very easy to manage. For those of you, actually, what I should do is poll the audience. How many people here have actually used an Airbnb in terms of stayed in one as a guest? I'd love to hear, yes, no, where you're at with that. And then also, if anyone's hosted, I talked to a girl today on the phone that's thinking about buying a Bunkie, but she rents out her basement on Airbnb. And we had never done that prior to Bunkie. We never Airbnb.
No. We had a basement rental, but it wasn't an Airbnb.
It was just a standard, tenant lives downstairs. Yeah. So we've never Airbnb'd our actual space. And if you're weirded out by people in your space, which I totally get, my parents actually rented a bedroom in their home, and they've had great experiences. They've had really great experiences. Actually, nobody's too weird. There was one time there's some people that use her hose to wash their car, but anyways. For the most part, pretty normal. But that's pretty. If you're gonna on a scale of 0 to invasive, that's a 10. Bunkies are more like a 3.
Yeah, but especially we can't see them from our house.
Yeah, we have 2 acres, and our Bunkies are spread out in kind of their own secluded spots, each of them. So we don't get to see them. I'd say now I've got it down to a science where 80% of the guests I don't actually have to meet. Yeah. Not that I like. I like the meeting them. But I'm pretty busy, so they can kind of check in, check out, do it all. It's all streamlined. So that's a real strength we have. So I think would you say now, having been through the experience for a couple of years, that the ickiness of having people in your space has kind of been you still would know people in your space, but
But when you showed me the numbers, and then when we got those numbers and exceeded them, I was kind of oh, I guess I can live with this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. The money far out. Yeah, outwon that.
Yeah, and in terms of the town issue, every town's going to be different. Like Toronto, the actual city of Toronto, I know they're cracking down on stuff.
That's Toronto. It's
Toronto, right? But if you're anywhere rural, which
nobody's got space for a Bunkie.
Yeah, you're not going to throw a Bunkie in your condo and sublet that out. That's not going to work. But if you're in a rural area, obviously talk to your town, or at least look into, are there any rulings on Airbnb? And if there isn't, my strategy is I'm going to be proactive, because I've helped a lot of other people in my area get involved with the Airbnb thing, and I I want to bring people to Erin. I think it's an amazing place. For those of you who've ever been, it's really cool. And there's a lot of hidden gem little getaways here in Erin. And so I want to bring people here. So I feel like I'm a net positive to the economy here. And so, if there ever was to be a ruling, I'd be the first person to say, hey guys, like I'm already doing this. I've been doing it for 10 years or whatever. Can you grandfather me in at least? But I think you should be seriously considering how much tourism this is bringing to the area. Mm-hmm. So that would be my angle with the town council. And the good thing about town councils is you can always talk to the persons making the decision. So you have at least some control. It's not like, because Ontario is generally friendly to this sort of thing, but individual municipalities might have a different situation. So do your due diligence for sure, but that's the main dangers. Now, talked about the liability. We talked about, the fire thing. So we do have campfires at our bunkies. We have little fire pits where people can have campfires, and we supply wood, and usually they donate for the wood. But there's sometimes fire bans in our area. Mm-hmm. So we just say to everybody, hey, you're welcome to use our firewood. Chip in $10 if you can to the kitty. But if there's a fire ban, you can't use it. And honestly, all of the guests have been pretty good with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and no one's burned anything down.
Most people don't know how to start the fire.
There's a lot of inner city people that are just escaping into the country that are like, it's their first time ever in nature. They're just like, flowers, trees, what is this? So you overcome that. Sometimes I light fires for embarrassed 25-year-olds. But in general, it's been, I think overall, a lot of those fears have not been realized. Would you say? And any of the minor annoyances have been greatly outweighed by the Sir Robert Bordens that have flown away.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's Carrie, guys. Let's play her out, band. Okay. Thank you, Carrie. So that's why not. Now let's talk. This is where I come in because I'm the opportunity guy. I'm the let's do this guy. I'm the grab the bull by the horns guy. Let's talk about the opportunities. So I'm just going to open up, I'm going to do a screen share and just show you, what have we done in the past year on our 3 bunkies, if that's what you're interested in. And we'll take bigger picture questions at the end, but I can just show you, here's my 3 bunkies. I'll show you, first of all, I'll show you our listings. I always allude to them. Hey, go on our thing. So if you go to Airbnb, actually I'm going to have to go to my other one, Airbnb.com, and don't do that, do this one. Airbnb.com. If you type in Erin, you're gonna find our listings come right up in general. You have to type in homes though usually, not experiences. So let me show this to you. I forgot to screen share, but I caught myself this time. Here we go. Okay, so here's our 2000 basically 19 model. This is an older version of it that we sold a couple years ago. But this is what my lofty, I call it. And then this other one here, the private teacup chalet, that's the very first one I built. And that's our 2019 no loft model. Same with our other one there. Those are no loft models. And let me just show you some of the reviews these bad boys get. So I've had 226 reviews on my first one, 106 on my newest one, and then how many does that one have? It has 130 on my Bunkie model. So I'll just go in and I'll just read you some reviews. This is live. Hopefully there's no bad ones. So if you've never done the Airbnb platform, it's really interesting. There's a lot to learn. But I'm a super host, which kind of helps your listing, I guess, and you'll come up faster. And let's just scroll down to some reviews. Here's all my reviews. This review is excellent. I'm glad this is the one that came up. I can't read very well. So I've been pondering going to David's Bunkie for over a year. I had saved it for some time, and finally, I was able to escape the city and take a trip into Erin. And it goes on. This guy's a really good guy. It's a fantastic review. The Bunkie sits flawlessly atop a hill on a beautiful plot of land. Right. So people will really flex their creative muscles with their reviews. And I'm charging it says $55 a night. I also do a $7 cleaning fee because there is a bit of cleaning involved, but not that bad. Basically a bunkie changeover is you run up to the bunkie, you sweep it out. In my case, I change the sheets. I have queen size beds in all my bunkies, so I can quickly change them and they're all interchangeable. So I change it, I do that. Sometimes I empty the garbage. Actually, always I empty the garbage. And that's it. I can do it in about 15 minutes if I'm hustling, and I can do all 3 of them in about an hour or less. So actually probably more like 45 minutes I can do all 3. And then I've been lately, because I've been busier, I've been hiring a cleaning person to come in like once every couple of weeks just to get everything like a full-on scrub down, including the bathroom. And that's pretty much it. That's the thing. Now I'll show you guys the back end. Hope I'm not giving away some passwords or something by doing this, but I can show you a host. Let me go to progress, I think. So I'll show you like kind of the numbers. So I've shut mine down for February and March because I'm kind of on vacation / doing this contest / all the things. So I haven't really done much in February. Let's do all listings. So this is all so I have three units and then a bathroom. So there's 3 kind of listings. That's not what I want with earnings. Okay. So this is what we did in March 2018. 300 because I was basically closed. April, 1,500. So it's about 500 each. May, 3,000-ish. June, 35. July and August are the best, like 43. August is 5,200. September is usually really good too. I think I got shut down for a little bit there for some friends in October. And then for me, November and December are still pretty good, but they slowed down a little bit. And then January this year was 1,000, which is still not bad. People still came in the winter. And those numbers might be a little... Oh, I didn't show that to you. Sorry, hold on, let me actually show you that. So you don't think I'm making these up. So there's January, there's December of last year, November, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully you trust me by this point. So August is always the best month for us because it's summer break and yada, yada. So I do pay taxes on all these, which is why I'm not afraid to share them with you guys. And those numbers are a little small because, like I said, sometimes people will, if I know them, they'll come and say, hey, can we stay for, and sometimes people will book all 3 bunkies for their groups of friends and they'll pay me cash or something. And then there is another platform called Canada Stays that we occasionally use. But 95 to 96% of our bookings are coming through Airbnb. And, we just got right up to the superhost status really quick and people love the experience and then we just kept with it. So we're all in on Airbnb mostly, but there's other options. You could have, like say you have a cottage, you could register on like a cottage life kind of website too. So that's the opportunities. We roughly made about on average between $9,000 and $10,000 per bunkie per year. So the bunkie itself can pay for itself really quickly. And I've really been considering this year, because we're now offering financing, if you are serious about it, a financing option might make sense because you could make it cash flow right away and start making money and just pay like $500 a month. But if you're making over $500 a month, then you're in the money right away. So that's kind of the numbers and the opportunities. And I'm a numbers guy, so I like that kind of thing. But there's also like some real pleasure and satisfaction for having a cool experience that people enjoy and getting to meet people from all around the world. We've had guests from South Korea, Australia, South America, the United States. We have people from all over, even China. So it really is an interesting way to meet people if you're that type of personality. And obviously, it's just, there's a satisfaction about like a job well done. People really do appreciate the experience. So if you have an interesting property or just if you are a hospitable person, I think that either one of those 2 things could really create a good experience for people. Now I'll tell you so I'd love to hear, from your perspective, what your strengths are, right? Like what's your property or what's your personality like that if you could chat that in, like what that would make you a great Airbnb. Okay, Carrie's saying don't itch your nose. I have allergies, not a cocaine addiction. Just so everybody knows. I do this because I have allergies at night. So, and a little bit of a cocaine addiction. I'm just joking. So no cocaine, just allergies. So anyways, I'd love to hear what your personal strengths are because I talk to different people. I talked to a guy on the phone today that's coming to see the bunkies this weekend, and he's got an organic farm. So for him, a bunkie could really bolt on well to like, come stay in the bunkie, check out the organic farm experience, and just do the whole, that whole experience for a weekend, right? Because what this is, if you're just thinking like throw a bunkie in the backyard and just have people crashing it, I think that's worth a little bit of money, but I think if you could add some type of dimension, like we have a really beautiful hill with a really great view. We're in the country, and I've taken the time to find out what's great about our area, and that's part of the guest book when they show up. So when they show up, it's like, check out Bell Fountain Inn, check out the Caledon Badlands, and they're like kind of out of the way things. So I've done my homework on it, and I've connected with local businesses and say, hey, check out this business. They're great for this. Check out this bakery, So I've done a little bit of work, but you only do it once, and then it kind of just flows. Like I really didn't think about the bunkies this year other than doing a few changeovers and then collecting the money. So once you get that work done, it's not passive income like my other rentals were, but those other rentals were passive for 8 months, and then 4 months of me wanting to stab myself in the jugular because they were so frustrating with all the tenants and issues. So I've had no real stress with these bunkies for the most part. So I'd love to hear, what are your strengths? What can you bring to the table if you were to do something like this? So we talked about the dangers. We talked about what the upside is, and we talked about my strengths and what I bring to the table for my bunkie. What I'd love to hear, I guess, the answer to this question is, the real question is, let's say it was 3 or 4 years after you bought a bunkie from us, you turned it into an Airbnb. What would need to be true for you to say, yeah, I'm so glad that I bought that bunkie from Dave? I'd love to hear what those answers are. Maybe some of them will be realistic and we can help you. Maybe some of them are not realistic. Like, Dave, I'm hoping these bunkies make me a millionaire overnight. No, that's not going to happen. The numbers are good, but they're not that good, Yeah, so I'd love to hear that answers. I'll read the chats at the end of this thing. I just wanted to kind of get the presentation off my chest. I'm very excited about this. I hope you can tell. The Airbnb thing for me is really what I love to do, and I wanted to put that out there. So there's kind of 3 ways that you could participate if you have a decent property, and this is something that might be interesting to you. I mean, the one way is just buy a bunkie, right? Because right now we have that sale. It's $1,000 off our new model, our 2019 model. And we're going to do a bonus on top of that very shortly. That may have something to do with shipping. And while we're doing the lean in thing, I should do the code word for today. The code word today, ladies and gentlemen, is petunia. That code word, petunia. So, there's, like I said, there's 3 categories. One is just, buy a bunkie, do it on your own, and that's totally fine, If you need help getting it kind of set up and going, I'm happy to offer my time to consult. It's $250 an hour, and I'll, an hour or 2, and I'd probably have you boom, 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 all the major things out of the way so you can kill it from the get-go. So that'd be just do it on your own, more or less. If you need help, I'm here. The other option is what we're considering doing, and it'd have to be a very good property and a very good offer. But if you have no money but you have a great spot, we'll rent your backyard. Because I know this model works. I'll take the risk. We'll rent your backyard. We have to work this out, but we'll rent your backyard, put the bunkie there, probably on a trailer, so we can get rid of it if you suck. But have it in the backyard there, and then basically pay you a monthly fee. So that'd be do it yourself, or we do it for you. And I'm also considering the idea of a hybrid. Maybe we partner together. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I'm open to chatting with serious people. I don't want people that are like, well, we're thinking about buying land up north, but we're not really sure. And no, I need you to own the land and be serious. With regards to bunkie questions, I'll answer any bunkie questions, but the Airbnb thing, this is my thing, and I only want to talk to people that are serious. Okay, so if you're interested, you have to apply to talk to me about it. It's airbnb.bunkielife.com. There's questions I've thought all the way through. If you can get through that and we approve you, then I'll call you. So, that might be a way to get a cheaper or free, or not free, but a paid-for bunkies by integrating with that partnership. So just thought I'd throw that out there for those of you who are entrepreneurial-minded like myself and who can talk their wives or husbands into stuff. That's there. Okay, so that's my offer to you. If you're interested and serious about doing the Airbnb other than on your own, in which case just buy it, and then go there and we can talk about that. And that's pretty much my presentation. I want to mention one more thing I forgot to say. So I have to apologize to everybody because I've been telling everyone that our 2019 model only has single pane windows. And I was talking to our tech guys today. No. All the windows on the door and all the windows everywhere on the 2019 are double pane windows. So better insulation value, higher quality than our 2018 model. And I apologize for the misinformation. So it's the same price. Nothing's changed other than the fact that I was an idiot and told you the wrong thing. So that's one more awesome reason to take advantage of that sale, which is here to the end of February, which is a few days. And that's pretty much it. We're going to get to questions. Before I get to questions, if you got them, you can start typing them now. And if you put them in all caps, that'd be wonderful. So the one other thing I wanted to say was we have financing ready to go. So if you want to do financing, let me show you how to do that. If you're thinking about financing your bunkie, not everyone will get approved. let me just pre-warn you, we were testing it today, and some of the members of our team got denied. I won't say who. They need to clean up their credit. So I think it's just based on your credit rating. So this is not us. We're not scoring or judging. We have no idea about your credit rating. This is just a third-party company called PayBright. Let me show you how to use that. Basically, you go down here on our page. Let's say you want to buy the 2019 model, which is on sale for $1,000 off before the end of the month. You click Add to Cart, and then it'll take a little bit of time, and then View Cart. And that'll take you over here to this next screen. You don't want to buy two, you just want to buy one. My mistake. Maybe you do want to buy two.
5.
You want to buy 5. Just put in 5. Thanks, Gary. And then so just type in the number of bunkies you actually want. Then you type Proceed to Checkout. And then it's going to take you to a page where you enter all your information. This is how we know where to ship it. And then you can pay with credit card. Now, if you pay on our website, you have to pay all up front. If you want to pay, normally people just pay a deposit, like of 50 or 60%. You can just email me and I'll send you an invoice. But if you do it on our website, you have to pay all the whole thing up front. And then you can pay with PayBright, which is the easy monthly payments thing, right? So pay over time with easy monthly payments. So click on PayBright and then click Place Order. And then if everything's working properly, which it is now, I believe, you'll be taken to this application process on the next page. I'm hoping. Yeah. So maybe I entered that wrong. But basically that's all you have to do. And then there'll be an application process you'll have to enter. So here's the application process. So you can select a payment plan. You can pay it over 12 months, and that's how much you pay a month, and that's how much interest you're paying. Or you can pay it over 2 years for a higher interest rate. So that's kind of the deal. And then you enter your details here. And then basically when you click here, they're going to check your credit. So if your credit sucks, my apologies in advance, but that was your life decisions, not mine. No, I know they are a little bit stringent because they're giving people money. It's unsecured credit, so they're going to be a little stringent. Not everyone's going to qualify. But if it's the right fit for what you're doing, especially the Airbnb thing, if you just want to cash flow it right away, it's not a bad deal. So anyways, check that out. If it's right for you, great. If it's not, that's cool too. And that's pretty much my presentation today about Airbnb. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, so I want to get right to those. Thanks for your patience. And I'm going to scroll up. Wow, there's a lot of comments already. Okay, so yeah, if you have questions about Airbnb specifically, let's stick with that. And then at the end, if you have more questions about bunkies, we'll save those till the end. All right, Patrick says, my family uses Airbnb often. Cool. All right, people saying hi. Curtis says, this is an awesome success story. Congrats to you and your family. What a struggle. It hasn't been that much of a struggle. We've had some tough times this past year or two, I'll be honest. There's been some struggles, but could be worse. Nikki says, sounds like my husband and I, more reserved while he is more spontaneous. Yes, you are Dave and Carrie. Nikki Greenhill. Annette Stroud says, you love the smell of fresh wood the way I do. Absolutely, I love the smell of fresh wood. When you walk into the bunkie, you still get that smell. Okay, so everyone's... Buyer Gal says, I actually opened up I owned an actual bread and breakfast. That's really cool. That's interesting. Okay, Nancy says, we stayed in London, England, and Belgium with Superhost, and they were awesome. That's great. All right. Okay, Debbie says, I might have missed this, but bathroom stuff. Do they come inside to use it? We have an outhouse. It has a mirrored ball hanging from the ceiling. Ooh la la. That is quite the commode you have there. Does it spin with a light shining out? That'd be amazing. That would help me relieve my bowels, absolutely. Don't want to share your bathroom. That's a great question. We can bring Carrie back in for that. Carrie? Welcome Carrie to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Carrie, what's your thoughts on bathroom?
Yeah, I was not sharing a bathroom. They were not coming in my house.
Thank you, Carrie.
I'm taking over the show.
Okay. So, yeah, Carrie hated the idea of anyone even near our house, but especially in our bathroom, so that was vetoed right away. So what we did, I should mention this, but we built a fourth bunkie. That particular bunkie has a flat roof. We don't sell it because it sucks. I would not recommend it, but we actually have a smaller little outhouse style that matches the bunkie really well. Mm-hmm. And we can sell that. It's about $1,200. And then what I should have done is buy that, but we have a bigger one. So we have the bigger one, and we have a composting toilet in it. So there's no running water, there's no shower, which is really, I think, an advantage because my strategy is get people in for a couple days so that it's still fun, but not a week where they start to stink and hate their experience. I want their experience to be like, that was really amazing, let's go back, right? And a lot of people do. But not like, after 4 days, I started to smell like the foot of a beaver, right? So the longest we ever had anyone stay is like 2 weeks, and it's this guy that we became friends with that's like comes every year for his like kind of retreat. But other than that, it's like 4 days tops. Kind of most people will stay for shorter periods of time, and the shower helps with that. Now, if someone really needs a shower, we have a little deal with our local gym where they can come in, use the shower. That's their 24-hour gym, and come in, use the shower, and then we just pay a monthly fee, kind of thing. So that works out really well and solve the bathroom issue, so they don't have to use their bathroom. When Carrie goes away, do sometimes people come and use their bathroom? No.
Do they?
No. Yeah. So, but the whole thing about it is you got to set people's expectations. Like, hey, this is what you're getting. It's a camping without the hassle, right? It's not the Ritz-Carlton. I'm not going to come up and give foot rubs. It's just a camping experience where you don't have to bring anything. Just show up and camp. No tent, no trailer, no hut, no fuss. So we have guests come once every couple months. A lot of repeat guests, and I think that's wise because they just want a no hassle thing. And you compare like a campground at like the Pinery, which is where I grew up near Grand Bend. Like it was like $70-$90 a night. So we're like relatively like in line with that price wise, and it's a lot better experience because the whole place is more or less to themselves. So. I hope that answered the outhouse question. I noticed Belinda Kelly was asking the same one. Let's play around.
I want to stay.
Okay, she's staying.
I want to see if I can answer the rest of these. Taking over the show. You want me to go?
I'm just teasing. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, so let's put the logo back. No, we don't need the logo. Okay, so Debbie, great question about bathroom. Thank you. Ginny says, love our Airbnb. So Ginny, I talked to you today on the phone. Thanks for tuning in, Ginny. So Ginny has a cabin that she kind of inherited with the property, a cool little kind of slightly bigger bunkie, and she wants to expand. So yeah, I would love to partner with you on that, Ginny, or help you with that. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Tara. Sorry, Ginny, we talked today about something else. Ginny has a basement apartment today. Sorry, my memory's slipping on me. So yeah, either way, let's expand. Let's do it. Ginny, I'm a soup roast as well. Good job. Darlene says, take time off the family. Yes, I'm taking time off. Laura says, lies. Haha, I'm just getting here. I don't know what you're talking about. I was talking about the windows, maybe? CB McDermott, do you rent to people with animals? No, I'm anti-animal. I'm like anti-PETA. I'm people for the unethical treatment of animals.
Nobody's going to buy from me.
Oh, geez. And our viewer account went to 2. No, I love animals. We have coyotes in our area, and I don't want
we just didn't want the liability.
I don't want the liability of the little lap dog that lives in the people's purse from Toronto, running off into the woods and getting eaten by an actual animal, So I just say no dogs, and I'm pretty adamant. And okay, my only bad experience, I said 99.9% of people are awesome. The dog people sometimes are like, can we bring a dog? I know your listing says no dogs, but can we bring a dog? And I say, no. And they're like, what kind of an idiot? I'm like, guys, it's in the listing. I said no dog. Or they book it, and they're like, we're going to bring our dog. I'm like, it says no dogs. So watch out for the dog people. That's just my warning. But other than that, dog people. Ooh, dog people. Nikki, how would Airbnb work if our bunkie is 3 to 4 houses away from our actual home? How would we be able to clean after each use? So what I've done, because I'm very busy, I'm a musician, and I'm all over the place, and I'm selling building bunkies too, I have a 4-hour changeover. I say everybody leave by 10 and don't come until 2. So I've got a 4-hour window to get up there whenever I get a chance. I pretty much do 85% of the changeovers, unless I'm touring or something. So I do a changeover. I give myself enough buffer time. If you're 4 houses down, if you can walk there, it's pretty ideal. I'm piloting the idea of, if I have one far away, making the guests do their own changeovers and send me a picture of the clean bunkie, and then only doing it once a week. That's kind of the bunkie goal. I'm giving you all my secrets away, but that's kind of what I'd like to have. Because eventually, if I grow this and I get enough partners, like backyard people, I'd like to have 50 of these. This could be really huge for me. So if that happens, I can't obviously change them all over all the time. So I'll have to either hire people or just have some type of a changeover that I have agreement with the guests, which I'm sure they'll do. They're pretty cool for the most part. Linda D. Cutler asks, this is cool because I have hunters who come to camp and would love to offer bunkie to stay in. Absolutely. We don't have a ton of hunters in our area. There's some.
Yeah.
But
If you got the spot.
if you were, you know, I know you guys up north, like that's what you do, right? That's how you roll. So it would be a definite.
A lot of hunters email too
Yeah.
about doing it.
Oh yeah, about buying them or doing it. So I think it would be a good opportunity. You know, like our numbers are. I should have said this at the start, but our numbers are our numbers based on being outside of Toronto. Your numbers might vary, but even if you were like half of what we did, it's still like almost 100% ROI. Even if let's say it's 20% of what we're doing, it's still a very good investment if you're into this sort of thing. It's not fully passive, right? Dave, are you the one that Canora's Campground is getting their bunkies from there in Port Elgin? We were up there 14 years until today. I don't think so, unless they're ordering this year. It wasn't last year. So Stephanie says, hunting is big around here. Great. Santina, we are hikers, and I know every inch of the bush, and I love to hike. And I usually force my guests to get out to something nature. Got cut off. To touch nature. Okay, to touch nature. That was really beautiful, Santina. Taylor Lynn, do you have a community toilet for the people to use? Yeah, I have that centralized composting toilet Bunkie. Just got in the video now. Yeah, I answered that already. So welcome, Taylor. Bella, people here in Northwest Ontario pay dollars for camps to rent. Yeah, totally. So like they call it a camp. That's the cool thing. Like Bunkie is like an Ontario-centric thing, and then as you get out, it becomes the word changes to camp. We're going to rent a camp for the weekend, eh? Up in Kenora. Carolina Anton says, what do you do about the bathroom? I've answered that question. Thanks for the question. Tom, I have a football field for a backyard. That's awesome. Nice. A lot of grass cutting, he says. Belinda Kelly, we have a waterfront lot in Prince Edward County. I think it's a great location for guests to stay. We are close to the wineries and Sandbanks Provincial Park and Beach. You sound like a good Bunkie Life partner. Apply. I would love to talk to you about that. All right. Oh, Andy Campbell also has allergies. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sure you get accused of the other. So, Jana, we have horses and very friendly cows. Man, people would dig that. Like, people from Brampton have never seen a cow. You know? Right? Like, I'm being a bit facetious, but it's true. Like, people, like, want the country experience. You know? And that's
Plus they have peacocks and pheasants and baby
golden pheasants.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Golden pheasants.
Golden pheasants. So, that sounds pretty ideal. Janet, I'd love to partner with you.
Great spot.
Let's do this. Nancy, this is a great question. I should answer. What's the fee for utilizing Airbnb? So you don't pay any monthly fee or anything. It's just you pay per booking. It's like, and it's pretty. They charge the guest something and they charge the host something. For the host, it's like very minimal, a couple bucks maybe, and that's worth it for the insurance alone. I think.
Totally.
Right. So I don't know what I paid in fees. I don't even ever see the money. I just claim what the number it tells me to claim on my taxes at the end of the year, like $30,000 or whatever it is. Right. Just claim that, and it's pretty ideal. Jana, this place is absolutely amazeballs. I'm offer muckluck making workshops. Yeah, man, bolt on a Bunkie to that. That sounds pretty epic. Connie says, my goal would be to offer hunters, snowmobilers, nature lovers, city people who want the nature. Yes, okay, cool. Jana says, I'm going to call you. No, Jana, don't call me. Apply for the Airbnb thing.
And then call.
I want to make sure. You sound pretty ideal. You sound good. But definitely apply. I'm not going to talk to anybody about Airbnbs unless you first do the application, which is available at...
Jenna, she says she's applying, right?
Oh, she's applying. Okay, sorry. Well, I don't see the comments below the comments I'm reading. All right. Anyways, you can apply at Airbnb.com or Airbnb.bunkielife.com. So, Carol says, we're an authentic 100-plus-year-old log home on Dead and Washburn Road. Ooh, the Bunkie would be an addition. Yeah, totally. All right. Laura says... Kids! So much info. I'm going to want to rewatch. Yeah, we're there. I don't know if you could hear our kids yelling earlier. Laura, this whole contest and your business plan is incredible. Thank you. I do have a business plan. Carrie has a business plan. I have a bunch of crazy ideas. Taylor, we are interested in doing an Airbnb. Very serious. Now, Taylor, you have that half-finished Bunkie. Are you going to finish it and do that, or are you going to buy one first? Either way, we'll help you. If you need help with it, just give us a call. Like I said, I'm happy to consult on it.
212 acres. That's awesome.
You could do like a lot of Bunkies on
that. You could spread them out and make a killing.
I wish I had more acreage. That's all. That's basically my struggle. I want more acreage.
Yeah, we've been trying to get our neighbor to sell us more.
Yeah. Pat, can you give us more details about the bathroom model? You know what, Pat? That's a great question. I'm going to send you a link to another guy that partnered with us to do an Airbnb in New Brunswick, and he's got pictures of it on his actual Airbnb listing. They did really well too this year, I think. They're closed down for the winter now, but they did really well right until November, I think. And just message me about the bathroom thing. It's just like a little tiny micro Bunkie outhouse.
Like a double wide outhouse.
Double wide outhouse, exactly. Tara says, the best part about Airbnb for us is low maintenance. Oh, Tara, thanks for tuning in. With a bunkie for a cabin, one room to clean. Totally. Like, I mean, doing the big full-on like house Airbnb, I know I haven't done it, but I know it's profitable. But it's a lot of work. You got to clean the whole house every changeover. So, CB, is the bathroom model on our site? No, that'd be like something we can just get for you if you're interested in the Airbnb thing. So it's not on our website, but just message me and we can tag it onto your order if you want to do that. Lena, I think he converted one bunkie into a general. Yeah, okay, yeah. I did. Thanks for answering that.
Do you need permits from multiple
Nancy, do you need permits for multiple bunkies? Not officially. Like, in our area, I looked into it, it was like 25% of your...
10%.
10%? Okay, 10% of your total 2 acres in our case can be outbuildings or sheds or whatever. So we're way under that because, we have a pretty big property. So, do your due diligence, guys. That's your job to do, but make sure it's okay with the tenant. I wouldn't call and say, hey, I'm going to do an Airbnb just loosely, and I live at 555. Like, don't do that. Just, make some casual calls. I'm thinking about doing this.
Thinking about doing a shed.
Have you had any rulings generally about Airbnb yet? Certain towns are in different stages. You want to get in on doing the Airbnb before they start making stupid rules, because the government never goes in the less rule direction. There's always more rules. So if you can get in before the rules, then you can make an honest argument to be grandfathered in. Connie says, would you say you would be a good enough distance? What would you say would be a good enough distance of your outhouse / washroom to the bunkie? I'm going to put a video of. So I made a video for each bunkie. So like, how do you find your bunkie? How do you make sure you don't stumble into someone else's bunkie and embarrass them? I made a video for each bunkie for all of our guests, and I'll share that on your comment later. And and then you can see exactly what I did and how far it is. It's about like 100 or 200 meters, like enough that you can...
You could be way closer.
I could be closer.
We just wanted ours to be distance from each.
Yeah, and I eventually want to build a greenhouse on my property, so I kind of was thinking about that too while I was putting all these things in.
And then I think the link is now here.
Okay, and Heather shared that link. So that's the New Brunswick one. So Stephanie says, restroom, shower, how does that work? Covered it. I don't do showers. So Nancy says, I manage an Airbnb in our little town. It's very successful. I would for sure like to try it with a bunkie. Okay, great. Give me a call, depending on how you want to do it. If you want to just buy one outright, or if you want to partner, let me know.
Lori's coming to visit.
Lori, I'm going to book your Airbnb for the end of March. We're not back until April 1st, so come the 1st of April. And we're starting to get booked up, but come in April. Sorry, we can't host you in March. Sandra, composting toilet. Yep, that's what we do.
Home hardware.
We got it from Home Hardware. It's a Sunmar. The guy in New Brunswick got a different model, and it looks a little smaller. Our Sunmar was very expensive. It was like, I want to say almost $2,000. Yeah, it was up there. But it's pretty good. It's big. It's really easy to clean out. I clean it like once every couple months. And by clean it, I mean like pull out the bottom, which is compost, and dispose of it. They say that it turns into like basically fertilizer. I've never fertilized any plants with it, but that's what they say. So it comes up pretty decent. Beaver feet, that's a new one. Okay.
I thought so too.
Quality comment, Derek. Tracy says, hey, this would be no problem for my hubby and I. We are still tenting. That's awesome. So the bunkie to replace the tent, cool. CB, wonder if animals are expected in your bunkie rental. Would love to rent at Christmas. Accepted? No, we don't accept animals. I love animals. Believe me, I wish I could have a dog. I'm just too busy to have a dog. It's going to happen eventually when we settle down a little more, but we don't do animals because of the whole coyotes thing. Not that there's like...
And porcupines.
Yeah, porcupines. One time my in-laws brought their dog and they got porcupine in the face. So I just want to avoid all that, so I just discriminate. We're so busy we don't need to take you dog people. Yeah, no foot rubs? Well...
Do you have a bunkie in
Tracy, do you have a bunkie in Newfoundland? No, we have no bunkies in Newfoundland, but we could ship to Newfoundland if you need us to.
The one's in New Brunswick.
New Brunswick would be the closest.
He's got one that's doing really well.
Yeah, so... No, we don't accept bunkies. Or animals. Sorry, CB. Briar, I find that people who use B&Bs are a very special breed of people. They enjoy meeting new people, and really, yes, that's been my absolute experience. They love different adventures. We made sure we had a list of things they could do. That's key. Yeah, don't just be like, here's a place to sleep. Like, totally have like, an experience. Because people want, if they wanted like the cookie cutter piece of crap, they'd go to the Holiday Express.
Yeah.
You know, they would go to they want, like, you know, like we used to go, I'd take my little 5-year-old daughter and, like, she'd pick him a flower and we'd give him a flower. Like, that kind of little touch stuff, like, really helps people feel like, hey, I'm welcome at this place, you know, you care about me, which we do. Like, you know, the income from our bunkies has really opened up a lot of possibilities for our family. It's not a lot of money, but for us it is. So, there are no animals allowed in my rentals, but, I mean,
It could be in yours.
Yeah, you could be like the puppy bunkie.
Cooking facilities. Oh, that's a good question.
Cooking. I don't do cooking facilities. I have like a fire pit you can roast marshmallows on and stuff.
Yeah.
I have all the restaurants listed. We're 5 minutes from really good restaurants. So I just push them in that direction and they will bring in food. Sometimes people order pizza to the bunkies, which is pretty funny. You know, so yeah, Briar says, our times were out by 11, only arrive at 3. Yeah, do something like that. Give yourself some time. You don't want to have this like 1 hour that you need to do it. And it helps that I'm self-employed, so I'm home during that time, you know?
Yeah.
Tom says, I play drums. You? Carrie plays the drums.
Yeah, I'm the drummer.
Okay, she's the drummer. Sandra, did you say that you have a separate
insurance policy?
Yeah, so we have our homeowners insurance policy. We just added to our home policy $500 a year for 2 bedrooms. Yeah, so basically it's a rider on your existing home policy.
Yeah.
And you also have $1 million liability with Bunkie, like through Airbnb, which is key because you don't want to get sued.
Yoga Bunkie retreat. Good idea.
Yoga Bunkie retreat. It's like a 10 by 10 or 9 by 12 in the case of the new Bunkie.
Well, they do it on one of those mats.
Yeah.
They don't really leave the mat.
That's true. I don't know yoga. I'm the least flexible person I know. This is me trying to touch my toes. So yoga's just ridiculously inflexible.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
Yeah, I think
that'd
you could.
Be cool.
It'd be like you'd have to charge people a lot of money because it'd be like you fit 2 people in there, but it'd be like we went to this guy's bunkie and he was doing yoga and then I don't know what happened to my wallet, but it was amazing. Jana, what is the best time to call tomorrow? I'm pretty booked up. If you guys want to book a time to chat, just go to meet.bunkielife.com. Meet as in meet.bunkielife.com, and any available time in my calendar, you just book. That's the best way to call because tomorrow I have like people calling, and this because the sale is coming up right on Wednesday and Thursday. If you're at all serious about ordering one, like either do it now, and if you win a bunkie, then you have 2 bunkies. It's meet.bunkielife.com if you want to chat. What is an errand that draws your guests? Just being in the country? Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, getting out of the city is a huge thing. And then we have some really cool, interesting wedding venues in our spot. We have a place called the Alton Mill. It's like an interesting mill for art. We have just a cool little town, to be honest. Like it's touristy. It's got like just the old school Main Street, little town, small town, Canada kind of feel. And we have the Credit River's really close. We're not too far from the Bruce Trail. There's a lot of cool things in my area, but I bet you if you really think about it, your area has cool things too, you know? Unless you live in Dunville, in which case, just give up. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm just kidding. So, there's something great about your area, so your job is just like showcase it. So in my photos, I've got like the bunkie and the hillside and da-da-da, and then I also got like, go to this waterfall, this conservation area. Check out this bakery, right? Like, I've got all that so that you kind of get an experience of, like, what you can do. And sometimes people just...
They like to look at the stars.
Look at this. Yeah,
and
exactly.
have a campfire. They want a campfire and they want to look at the stars.
They want to look at the stars, exactly. You know? And they send me all the photos of everything. Like, some of the cool photos on our website is, like, photos from our guests. So just, like, you know, like, people can't see the stars in Toronto. And there's millions of people in Toronto. So you can rent that. Diane, you mentioned that you rent in colder months. How are you heating the bunkie? Great question, Diane Topping. My cottage is on a snowmobile trail. So I have electricity.
Somebody actually talked to us about renting to snowmobile.
Yes. Yeah. So we're close to a snowmobile trail too. So I have 2 electric heaters in each bunkie, and I've got an electric blanket on the bed. So the beds are usually really cozy even in the dead of winter, but it does get cold. Like the dead of winter, like January, February, what I say is like, hey, come, it's a winter camping kind of experience. It might be chilly in the bunkie. The bed will be warm, but it might be chilly. And then I just say, hey, if you want your money back, full money back guarantee. You know, every once in a while, maybe one every 4 guests, I would say 4, one every like 5 or 6 guests might say, hey, it's a little cold, or hey, can I have my money back? That's fine. Because, like, you make all your money, at least I make all my money, I should say, between April and November.
Yeah.
And December and January, if you make a couple $1,000, that's bonus, in my opinion. right? So I could insulate them. I'm going to try insulating them more to help you guys. Like, this is how I insulated my one bunkie, and I did the roof. I'm going to do that this spring.
Yeah, like they're fine until it's like -10 or lower.
That's when it gets cold. But you can insulate them. It's just it's a bit of work. So I'm going to do that work for you, so you don't experiment with how to do it, so that you can learn from my mistakes. So yeah, I'm going to insulate one of the bunkies this year. But I just thought, like, it's a lot of money and time for me to do that, and then how much more will I get guests in the winter? I don't know. So.
Do you think Airbnb would work in Ottawa?
Oh, who's asking that?
Carolina.
I don't see that question.
Right here.
Oh, okay. Carolina, Ottawa in my backyard, maybe. I know Ottawa because it's the capital of Canada. They can be more stickler, but yeah, it might actually work. It'd be a great, like, if you can get approval for that, it would be wonderful because you have a lot of tourists coming to Ottawa.
Insert an air conditioner. Good question, Nikki. Yes.
We did that in our lofty. We did that. Our other two, like, they're hot. We have a fan in them. They can get hot in the hottest parts of the summer, but it's not too bad. It cools down at night. And all of our windows can get cracked open, so you can vent it really easy. But because our lofty is like our premium model, I threw air conditioning in just to differentiate it from the other ones. So some people use it.
And Tara confirmed the host.
The host is 3%. 3%. So
that's nothing.
It's not much. It's totally worth it, man. I cannot sing Airbnb's praises enough.
Have you considered getting solar roof?
Solar roof and batteries. Yeah, so I have the luxury of having my house on the property, and I can run power to it, so I've done that. But Mark Jeremiah from Carlton Place, one of our clients, he doesn't. I don't think he rents out an Airbnb, but he has the solar panel and the battery, and I think he actually runs his wife TV off that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, it's pretty legit. Okay. Briar, I'm now in Brighton, which is 30 minutes of Picton and has over 50 wineries. People are always looking for a place to stay. We have one motel. Airbnb will work here. That sounds very promising. Like I would partner with you, Briar, if you apply at airbnb.bunkielife.com. Or you can just buy one. Jenna, where do I apply? You can apply right here at airbnb.bunkielife.com.
Just leave that on.
Yeah, I'll just leave that on. Why not? Nancy, maybe we can make a deal. More Airbnb bunks for you, our property, win-win. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yep.
Yeah.
Taylor Lynn, the unfinished bunkie will be our check-in desk once it's finished. Yeah, exactly.
Love
cool.
it.
Like it. Joanne says, Briar Gallic, can you talk to me about Bunkie in Brighton? Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Jody, so want this to camp in would be an amazing advertisement for it. Somewhere to sleep and let my family come enjoy. Cool. Thank you. Nice live stream. Getting mine in August or September. Great. Look forward to serving you then. Oh, Lisa, do users get access to running water? No. I just say straight up, no running water. So Briar says, text me in a bit at da-da-da-da. No, Briar, you got to apply. Apply or email me or text or reach out to us. I'm a little bit too busy to be texting people right now, but I would love to chat with you. You sound like you're a great partner, potentially. Marnie says, Nora is prime for a bunkie place on top of the bluff looking over St. Lawrence River. Yeah, we have a nice view too. We're up at the top of a hill, but we don't have a river, so that would be epic.
Nora's, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Okay. Tony says, the castle is going to look so amazing with our bunkie here in the county. Cool. Lisa, thanks for being all caps, Lisa. That's great. It pops right out. So, do you have access to electricity? Yeah, so I have my houses on the property, so I can run. I've ran electricity to each bunkie. That helps a lot. Melanie, do you have to add straw or hay into the composting toilet? So there's these little bags of moss you buy, and there's a little scooper there, and you just scoop in as you poop. That's what they do. Dallas says the winning word. What you mean is the code word, right, Dallas?
Petunia.
You gotta lean in. You gotta.
Petunia. I'm learning.
All right. We were planning to go to Newfoundland this summer, but where's your bunkie? Our bunkie's in New Brunswick.
No,
our bunkie's in Erin, which is in Ontario.
What's his name?
What?
Who's in New Brunswick?
New Brunswick. If you want to go check them out, it's Moncton, New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Newfoundland, guys. New Brunswick. And it's just, you'll totally recognize the cabin. It's in their. Once they reopen, they'll be at the top of the list, I would assume. We have a farm and a pond and a bush. A bunkie would be awesome. Yep, totally.
People love the pond thing.
Yeah, I wish I had a pond. I'm thinking about digging a pond to be legit.
CB. Yes, you know what? I have told him to get Reactin.
He actually takes it every day.
I take
Reactin every day.
He just got terrible allergies.
Yep. Carlene, have you had any bad experiencing with having to remove renters? No, we've never had to remove anybody. We have had persistent dog people that I've had to be like, no, you're not coming.
With the dog.
With your dog. You're welcome to come, but no, Fluffy can't come. That's been the most like aggressive. I had one guy to kind of like go off on me because of the dog thing, but it says up front, no dogs. Like, yeah, so overall, 99.99% of people are fantastic, and then for the 0.01%, you just say, no, you can't come. You can cancel on people if you have a good reason. Wondering about winter stays. Do you supply a kettle, coffee pot, or hot plate? I do not. My bread and butter is, like I said, the summer. So, or do you send them to the local restaurants? Yeah, I more or less say get to the local restaurants. All of them spending money in Erin. I want to grow my local economy, right? So, hubby's question: what is the total weight of the completed bunkie? If you wanted to put it on a frame to move, so the actual kit's like 2,700 pounds plus your roof. So let's just say 3,000 pounds, and then all your furniture. Factor that in too, because you start throwing the bed in and it's up there. Because you can move it with a forklift. Yeah, it's definitely movable with a forklift, but not by Deborah, can we use a barbecue at your Airbnb? Yeah, we have a little barbecue at the one. The one has a barbecue. One of those little Coleman ones. You bring a little green tank, and you're good to go. So welcome. Yep, you're invited to come stay if you want. I'm open in April. Joanne says, my son is allergic to cats and can no longer stay in our house. So sad. He loves it here. Really need it. Joanne, shouldn't you consider maybe getting rid of the cats in favor of your son? Just in a thought. Just in a thought. Your poor son, he can't breathe. Maybe you're talking about the cat. Maybe Steve is the cat, and he's allergic to the sun. I'm not sure. But, yeah, you could throw him in a buggy, the cat or the sun. Really, it's a solution either way, but I go with the sun. Diane, Dunville has a great deli. I did a speech one time.
They have a huge fish.
They have a big fish. You drive in, and it's just a massive catfish. When everyone says they're from Dunville, I always add like a catfish.
You missed one though. What are the wood type options?
We just have Nordic spruce is our kit, so I'm made from Nordic spruce. So Nancy, I moved away from Niagara, and nobody here gets my Dunville jokes. Yeah. No, I did a speech at the high school one time. I played some music and did a little speech, a motivational speech, so I know Dunville. Other than that,
Costa Rica. Somebody's watching us from their vacation.
Welcome from Costa Rica. You're going to make everybody jealous on this live stream. Okay.
The parent.
Kimberly, I may just put one on my property and designate to the parent timeout bunkie. Absolutely. Sometimes you need a timeout bunkie. I feel you.
You slept out there some nights when you needed a good night's sleep.
When I try to push for bunkie 5, 6, and 7, I get sent to the... You go sleep in that bunkie. You want more bunkies? You go sleep in that. Tara, we don't have running water. So Tara, I talked on the phone with Tara yesterday. She has an existing cabin. She's thinking about adding another bunkie. So she has no running water, but our guests are happy with cold/hot water cooler. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the Culligan man with the big thing, and you put it down. Yeah, that could work.
That's not
I haven't done that. People just bring all their water bottles. For me, I need low maintenance. I got 2 small kids. I got running 2 businesses. I need low maintenance. So I've streamlined everything to be really low maintenance, really automated. Patsy, code word, petunia. Thank you, Patsy. Okay, so I'm scrolling down. Any other questions you guys have? I'm at the end of the thing, so if you have Airbnb questions or bunkie-related questions...
that's a good question. I'll answer this one.
Okay.
Laura's, do people drive right up to your bunkies? No. Or central parking on your property for their cars? Yes. So ours is really up a hill. Like, that's why the view is so good. And so they can drive about halfway up the hill, and then we have a parking spot you can fit 3 cars easily, and then they have to walk the rest of the way. And if they spin their tires on my driveway, I get angry. Yeah,
so I have a welcome video for each individual bunkie. Like, make sure you figure out what's your bunkie, because sometimes people will be like, I'm like, watch the video. And then I say, watch the video and tell me the code word in the video. That's how I learned that trick, right? Because otherwise people don't watch stuff. They're just like, yeah, I'll watch the video. And then they never do. And then they walk it on somebody else in their bunkie, right? So we have individual videos for each one. And then I say, like, don't spin your tires here when you're driving up this driveway. Like, I do stuff like that just to, Yeah, like, people, there's still going to be some people that don't listen. But for the most part, people are chill. Somebody asks, can I put a wood stove in? I've answered that question multiple times. I've avoided a wood stove in my Airbnb specifically because I don't want hipsters from Toronto pretending like they know how to use a wood stove when they don't and burning it down. So I've went with the electric heat. That's why. Tara might be able to chime in because she has a wood stove in hers and she helps them with the wood stove. Like I said, I want low maintenance for me, so I don't do that. But I have wood there, and I pile it up for the summer, and then they can take from it and donate. But I say burn it in the campfire pit. I have like a chimney in the one, and then a really good chimney in the other one, and then I have a fire pit in the other one. So they're all kind of a little different, just so that they're different. Daniel says, hard to say no to this face. I'm not sure what the context of that is, but it sounds funny. Yeah, okay, so Pat says I'm going to apply. I'm going to be a partner. Okay, cool. Let's partner. Code word, once again, petunia. Victoria, actually, let's spin that question around. That's a really great question. So I said, what does success look for you guys? So if in 2 years you're looking back on partnering with us or working, buying in a Bunkie and doing the Airbnb, what would have to be true for you to say, yeah, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I took Dave up on that crazy thing. Well, let me tell you what my answer to that question is. Let's say we were partnering together. Here's what I would want to see after 2 years. I would want to have all the money I invested into it out, and I'd want to have doubled my money. So I'd want to basically pay off the Bunkie in 1 year and then make profit the second year. That would be my goal. If I can't do that, or at least have a realistic plan to do that, I probably wouldn't partner with you. That's just because that's where my money could be invested elsewhere. So if I'm going to invest like Dave's hard-earned money or whatever, then I would want to make sure that that's true. And I want to make sure also that's a win for you guys. Like, your backyard or your situation is set up that it's not going to be impeding on your life, and it's a win for you. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in terms of profit. And I always want people that are cool and like relatively low key. If like you freak out the first time somebody comes and like has a smoke on your property, then people are gonna be people. Like we haven't done any really wild parties.
We haven't.
No,
everybody's been pretty respectful.
Yeah. But it's people, right? There's always that unpredictable element. If you're at all freaked out by unpredictability, this is not the thing for you, right? Because there's some things that are just unpredictable that happen. That's what I'm looking for. Just outgoing, fun people that like people. Because chances are you're probably gonna bump into these Bunkie people. We call them the Bunkie people.
So do our daughters.
Our daughters call, the Bunkie people are here, right? like the mutants, like, Bunkie people. So anyone using solar panel to power their Bunkies? Yeah, Mark Jeremiah. If you type in Carlton Place Bunkie into YouTube, or you just go on our website, I think it's on there. Check it out. Patsy says this video is priceless. I love your attitude towards city folks. Ask us Northerners how we do. Oh man. As soon as you get outside of about 4 hours of Toronto, people just get nicer and like way more chill. That's been I've toured a lot of Canada. I've seen the East Coast, I've seen the West Coast, I've been around. When people say Canadians are so nice, they're talking about Canadians other than like that little black hole around Toronto. That's my opinion, I'm sticking to it. How many nights do guests typically stay? It's like 2 is the average.
2 is the average, yeah.
I just do 1 night stays. So like if you want to come for 1 night, cool. Because then I get the cleaning fee.
Yeah, we get a ton of 1-nighters.
And the cool thing about frequent 1 night stays is you get the review. So I'm blowing everybody in my area away in terms of reviews, right? I've got probably 5 times the next person in terms of reviews. And I get the cleaning fee. And like they're so easy to clean over that who cares? Like I'm already going up to clean up another Bunkie, so I might as well clean all 3. So I just do short stays. And I kind of incentivize that with no washroom or no shower. Tina, I plan on winning the Bunkie. That's a great plan. But just in case I don't, where can I get info to stay at yours? If you just, I'm going to comment on that, and I'll invite you and come and stay. Tara, we are new to Airbnb. Great renter so far. So Tara's been doing it, I think, for a month or 2. I think since December, she was telling me. They review us on the experience and we review them, which helps thin out who you may want to rent to. Mm-hmm. Just read up on them, right? So it's very flexible. Like I just have instant book. We'll take anybody with a pulse, pretty much. As long as they agree to our house rules. No dogs. No dogs. Absolutely no dogs, right? And a few other things like watch the video, right? There's stuff like that. So So they agree to the house rules, and then I'll instantly book anybody. And there's been lots of times I'll give somebody a chance. Like, you can also say, I'll instant book anybody unless they have no reviews. In which case they have to kind of talk to you. There's a lot of flexibility with the platform. And then the other option is just like, I only will allow people to book if I approve them, which is for the more, conservative, carry, breaks type people, right? I'm just like, gas. So I'm just like, yeah, it's your first time? You're just an egg? Or you're just like the gray face? I'll take you. Because the worst case, I've thought about this mathematically. The worst case scenario is they burn a bunkie down. And I'm out $6,000. That's the worst case.
It's covered by insurance.
It's covered by insurance, and it's, that's the worst case. And what are you going to do? That's actually like, because you can think about it, right? I used to have these other rentals. I had this student rental. I had a duplex where there was like a weird guy in the basement, really nice weird guy downstairs, and then there was a rotating cast of characters upstairs. And people did things like light their barbecue right next to the house and melt the siding. This one horrible tenant pooped on the carpet and didn't clean it up for a week. We had some crazy stuff go down. I haven't had even 1% of that with the Airbnb people. The Bunkie people, they sound a little frightening, but they're when you really think about it, they're a lot less frightening. And plus, worst case scenario, they're gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get I've had some. Okay, I'll tell you. Can I tell you this?
Are you gonna do that? Oh,
I'll tell you the weirdest Airbnb experience I had.
You went, oh.
Okay, I hope these people aren't watching and I'm going on. I'm sure there's a fully rational explanation for this. But I went and knocked on a door, one of the bunkies. I was giving them something.
They asked a question or something.
They're like, oh, yeah, I need this. I don't know what it was. And I was walking by. So I'm like, oh, meet them and knock on the door. I knock on the door, and they open the door, and they're halfway getting undressed out of, a full, animal costume, like a bear costume. Right? And I'm just like, okay. And they're like, no, it's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. We're trying it on. And we bought them today. I'm like, hey, no judgment here. Hashtag Bunkie Life, no judgment. So that was, in a nutshell, the weirdest thing I had. And they were nice people, and they paid their tip, and they left a donation for the firewood. Yeah. So overall, very satisfied, but that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
What happens in the Bunkie stays in the Bunkie.
Nancy. Oh, Nancy lives in Toronto. Sorry, Nancy.
Oh, sorry, Nancy.
But you know what? You're probably cool because you're on here. So.
That's true. You're probably a country girl at heart. Just move out of Toronto. Sell your McMansion and move to a place where you can see the stars again. We used to live in Georgetown, and it sucked. And we lived in Milton.
Well, we like Georgetown. I'm not used to... I called that the big city.
Yeah. She didn't like that the post office person went up to our house and dropped the mail in there. She didn't pick
up my mail.
Yeah.
I thought they put the flag up and they pick up your mail, and I didn't realize they don't do that.
They don't do that in the city. And have you delivered to northwestern Ontario, northwest Thunder Bay? Are the bunkies mosquito-proof? And I'm serious. Yeah, we have never gone that... We've gone that far in the easterly direction, but not in the westerly direction yet for deliveries. We could totally do it. And are they mosquito-proof? I mean, in your case, I know how bad the black flies and stuff are up there and the mosquitoes. Obviously, make sure you seal everything up really, really good. Use the trim. Some people don't do that, but do that. And obviously screens. Have screens, because the worst thing ever is you're in a small bedroom, there's a mosquito joining you. That sucks. And then you're trying to go sleep. It's that sucks. How many guests does it sleep? So you can do 2. Mark Jeremiah says you can fit 3 up in the loft, which I think is generous. But we'll say 2 to 3 in the loft, and then you can fit a queen size bed on the ground floor. So 4.
Or bunk bed.
Or bunk bed. You could get inventive if you want to just
You could probably do one of those bunk beds with a single on the top and a double on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or 2 singles, or.
Yeah, you could actually probably do a queen on the bottom and a single.
And a single on the top, and then you've got the loft. You could get creative.
Let's say you want to start housing runaways or something. Yeah, totally do that. I'm gonna say 4 comfortably. Trudy, I'm totally enjoying the contest. Would sure love to win, but there can only be one winner. That's true. We're at 30,000 people, I think, by the end of the contest. I think we will be. Okay. Patsy, but can I bring a dog? That's so funny. That's cool. I need to meet you. I'll bring the wine. That's cool. Yeah. Oh man, that's another thing about the North. I love our Northern Ontario guests when they come to the Bunkie store. I was like, have a beer, right? So I'm sitting in the back, and they're paying me to feed me beer. It's fantastic. I love Northerners. Did I hear you correctly? No dogs? That's at my bunkie. You can have as many dogs at your bunkies you want. Get your own bunkie. Victoria, or they die. I love dogs, but I commend you to not allow dogs in bunkies. It would be a sanitation issue. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I just don't want the hair and the... You know what I mean? Did I hear you correctly? No dogs. Just to clarify, we've got dogs or no dogs? Dogs? No dogs? Jenna, I've never considered doing Airbnb, but I've watched this entire live show, and I might actually consider it. Do it, man. I can honestly say, of all the things I've invested in, it is the best investment I've ever made. What about chickens? Can I bring them?
Chickens
yeah, what about chickens? We're pro-chick. Pro-chicken.
Cooked or not cooked?
We just totally irked all the PETA people.
Whoops.
Danielle, you just met your first furries. Yeah, it's funny. I was listening to this podcast, one of my friends' podcasts, and they were talking about furries like literally that week. What is a furry? And then I knock on the door and it's like, we are just changing from our... You're Asian. We're just changing from our purchase today. I'm like, okay. How crazy would delivery be to Kenora? I'm actually pricing that out for a customer right now. It's going to be more than like, local, but we'll make it happen. It's not going to be that bad. You can always pick up too if you have the right trailer. Tara, the best part about Bunkie/cabin renting, little to no expectations. Not a 5-star, but more of a glamping experience. That's exactly what I say. I call it camping without the hassle. Mm-hmm. No cleaning up tents. Like, you got to think of it from the guest perspective. Like, you're going to pay $70 for a crappy campsite with
people beside you.
With people beside you and yada yada. You can't get cozying with your wife without somebody hearing you, right? Like, this is. If you have the right property, this is a really good offering. Elka says, this would be great at Blue Mountain for skiing. We have a huge property, totally. Nancy says, so, no hairy people? It depends if you shed or not. Deb says, hi, Diane and Brandon. I guess we got friends seeing each other. That's cool. Mary says, plus the chickens. Fresh eggs if you are lucky. Cool, I'm in.
Agreed.
Yeah, I want to get chickens. That's what I want to get in my property is chickens.
Funky people and chickens.
Funky people and chickens. We could give them some fresh eggs.
It'll be a new experience. We'll tell them they have to try and collect their own eggs.
Yeah.
And then we'll set up hidden video cameras and post it to YouTube.
It could be like its own spin-off series, like
awesome.
City Slickers grab eggs. Right? It's like,
And then you see our 5-year-old come out and just like...
Yeah.
Eat it raw.
Yeah, exactly. Just... And then John and his man bun are like, yeah. So Don says you should design an outdoor shower to add to your bunkies. I've thought about it, and I just haven't implemented it. And
you could do it.
You could do it. We totally
they have
could
those solar showers. And...
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I've always just thought, you know what? No, I'm not like I could probably be charging more too. I was talking about that with someone today. Like I could probably charge more than the $60 to $70 I'm charging. I jack it up on the weekends in the summer. And I kind of squeeze the price a little bit.
Well,
but
Airbnb kind of has a system, right? That
you can just set weekends.
It'll kind of bring it up and down a bit too.
Yeah, okay. And we've officially decided we're not doing the cottage life shows. It's just this year is not going to work for us. We're too busy with other stuff. So I would love to meet you guys in person. I mean, what I invite you all to do is come to our property. This weekend is the best weekend to do it. You're invited to our house. You can see.
Is there no ice storm this weekend?
I don't know. Well, depending on.
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah. So come to our house. You can see them in person. And then you don't even need to go to the stupid cottage show and look at our competitors. No, but we're not that far from Toronto. If you're already driving into Toronto, make your first stop a Bunkie Life stop. We're in Erin. You're welcome to come see. I can give you a tour, or you can just help yourself. It's a lot of people have come by this weekend while we've been away, and just stopped in and almost all of them have bought a Bunkie.
Yeah,
have seen it because when you see it, like you're like, okay, I get why these are $6Gs. They're totally worth it. Okay.
Kimberly, if I buy 3, do I get a discount?
Kimberly, is there a discount for multiple purchases? Yeah, give me a call. We'll probably work something out. We have a pretty good sale right now. It's $1,000 off our 2019, but I'm a guy. I own the company, so I'm happy to entertain deals or whatever. Or maybe we could throw in shipping or something. Talking about chickens, I have a very nice coop with only 2 chickens, and the joke is I will turn into a bunkie. So send us the pic. That'd be funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but seriously, if you guys want to come, just email us and we'll set you up. Oh, Sonia from Grand Bend. Nice. I grew up in Petrolia.
Saturday or Sunday, better either.
Saturday or Sunday. We're having people come by all weekend. And tomorrow, too. Actually, people are coming tomorrow, too. So just let us know, and we'll set you up with how to get there and how to find the thing and stuff. So I think that's towards the end of the presentation. It's been a long one. I was anticipated. I'm super excited about Bunkies, and I want to finish the contest, do that big sale, which once again, let me just explain that big sale. It's going to be for Like, we're just going to close down the contest on Tuesday, right? And
That's coming up.
That is coming up.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we're almost at the end of this marathon, guys. So this is the week ahead of us. On Sunday, I'm going to do the explanation. I'm going to explain the bonus of the 2-day sale. I'm going to just answer any last minute questions. What I don't want is you to wait until Tuesday and then call me and be like, how big are the bunkies? Or like, does the bunkie have a toilet inside of it? Like, I've painstakingly answered all your questions ahead of time so that on Tuesday, just call and you go, all right, I'm ordering one, or not this year, next year, whatever it is, but I'd like you to order one. So on Wednesday and Thursday, I meant to say, that's when you call in and you put an order in if you're interested.
Or before that.
Or before that, but don't call on Wednesday or Thursday and be like, yeah, I'm thinking about a custom book. No, you're buying the kit, right? If you want to do custom stuff, we can do that. We're happy to do that, but we're focusing on that big 2-day sale during that time, okay? So if you've booked a time to talk with me, but you're not calling with an order, if you could...
Or like questions
with like serious, I'm obviously you're going to have a couple last minute questions of like, just to what the word I'm looking for? Like, just make sure you got all your ducks in a row, which is totally fine. But if you're not like seriously moving towards purchasing, then
is that Lee or?
Oh, Lee Adams. Sorry. If you're not looking towards actually purchasing one, then if you could maybe book an appointment in March. I want to give enough time for the people in February that I want to take advantage of the sale. So Lee Adams, our neighbor.
Hi, Lee.
How's it going, Lee? So that's the presentation, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast, and you're welcome to come by. And I wish the best of luck to the winner of the contest, which you're going to know on Tuesday. And Sundays are basically our last real question and answer live stream, and that's Sunday at 7:30. You're all invited. We're going to wrap everything up. We're going to do that. And so the code word once again for this is Petunia. Thanks for tuning in. And no dogs.
Bear's okay. Chicken's okay.
Chickens, dogs, that's fine. No dogs. All the best, guys.